So, you want to look for some girls?
They were crazy.
You know what I always say?
What's that?
Girls for me.
The Zany brothers, they were the greatest. And I should know, I've been collecting all of their films. I even have a film of me collecting their films. Jeff's dad, he was a shoe salesman. So you'd think that Jeff would have grown up to be a dancer. Stanley, on the other hand, was the son of a dairy farmer. And it was really rough because he was also the first boy in America diagnosed lactose intolerant.
When Jeff and Stan took their act to Irving Whitmore, who was then the most powerful agent in vaudeville, he didn't know what to do with them. He couldn't book them into the Catskills. They were too racy. He couldn't book them in a burlesque show. They were too boring. And he couldn't book them as a minstrel show. Stanley was allergic to the makeup. So he did the only thing that he could do. He booked them in pictures. It was a stroke of genius.
Say, Jeff,
Yes, Stanley.
I'm buying a Model T today. I need to borrow $20.
So you say you want to borrow $20?
Yes, I do.
Here you are.
Thank you very much.
They were a smash hit. All of Hollywood was opened up for them. I mean, after OU Boys, everybody was a fan. From Boris Karloff to Buster Keaton.
Girls around here like real men, like me.
Well, then we'll follow you around. There's bound to be girls sooner or later.
Well, all right then, we'll just... Now, wait a minute! I don't need no partners. Lesson you can prove you're real cowpokes.
All right then, give us a cow and we'll poke it.
No, give us a girl. That's what we want.
First, you gotta prove yourselves. Your first test. See them bulls over there? Take them over and bring them up to McCready's pasture, yonder.
Are there any girls in that pasture?
Of course there ain't no girls in the pasture! The range is a man's place.
Well then, give us a girl pasture.
Look, mister, if you're looking for trouble, trouble is what you'll get.
Well, we don't want trouble.
We want girls.
Unless trouble is the name of a girl.
Then yes.
When the boys went from Warner Brothers to Universal, the films really changed. Carl Laemmle Jr. just didn't understand Jeff and Stanley's humor. There's a famous story where he's reported to have said to Lionel Barrymore, "The Zany Boys, they're just not funny." But Laemmle was a horror producer first and foremost. You can see it in the final product. Just look at The Zany Boys Meet the Mummy.
So Jeff, you think there's any girls around here?
Listen, it's a historical fact. There's girls all over Egypt. Now help me with this box.
You got it. Do you think that's a girl?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Let's unwrap it. Hey, it is a girl.
Unwrap faster!
Of course, the Zany Boys Meet the Mummy. That was so funny. That was such a huge success. Then afterwards, of course, they had to make a whole bunch more just like it, which led to classics like
Zany Boys Meet the Wolfman, the Zany Boys Meet Frankenstein, and of course, the Zany Boys Meet the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Still, I thought that we did some very innovative comedy on those.
I thought we did, and some of it's going to make itself into the picture. There's a very, very funny moment where Stanley and I, if I don't want to give too much away, but I know when you see it, it's even better. Stanley and I are in a submarine looking for girls at the bottom of the ocean, and of course, We don't run into girls, we run into an
No, we run into an octopus, a
Yeah,
giant
it's-
octopus.
A giant
A
octopus.
giant octopus with nine legs. So that makes it an octopus.
octopus.
Oh.
That's one of the innovations that we came up with.
Lindley could just not see. It was a huge mistake that he had two comic geniuses on his hands. Well, as it turns out, at this point, the war was in full force. So Jeff and Stan decided to use their free time to go on a goodwill tour for our troops.
We went on an aircraft carrier.
We did.
Very interesting, very flat.
But the act was really good. I believe you started with, is anyone from out of town? They got
Everybody raised their hand. Every single
Everyone
one of
raised
them.
their hand.
Nobody was from the aircraft carrier.
Nobody.
Usually, couple, 5, 6 hands. Every single one of them that time.
People out in rowboats were raising their hands.
You can't make that
They
up.
shouldn't have been out there because it was the it was the middle of it. But still.
So 5 years later, Max Sennett brings the boys to Hollywood. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen Max Sennett in action. I have. It's pretty amazing. He can walk into a room and he could just look at 75, 77 people there, however many, and he could spot the 3 that had talent.
Say, Stan, I have a pie.
I don't have one.
Would you like some of mine?
Yes, I would. Give it to me.
You say you want me to give it to you?
Yes, give it to me.
Are you sure?
Yes, I want you to give it to me now.
Here it comes.
Thank you very much. Let's go share this with some girls.
It didn't work.
Of course, Jeff drank himself to death after that. Not that he was an alcoholic. He just discovered root beer floats around that time. He was drinking about 15 a day until his liver just fizzed over. The doctors never saw anything like it. That Jeff. Always an innovator.
A few years ago, they uncovered a lost Zany Boys movie, Girl Happy. Actually, my nephew found it. I don't know how he found it. He's a computer whiz, and you know those things. They must be magic because he says he found it in the Amazon.
Boy, I wish there were some girls here.